I'm Greg Jarrett. You're in the strategy room. It is a war of words between Republican candidates Jeb Bush and Donald Trump since the Donald entered the race last month. A businessman has gone after Bush on a wide range of issues, including immigration. But with the Fox News debate only a few weeks away, seems the Florida governor is now pushing back. Here with reaction, political strategist Greene and Pidot. Good to see you both. You know, Flip, it's interesting to watch these Republicans. It's such a crowded field. To gain traction, you really have to stand out. And at least in Donald Trump's mind, it means, you know, I'll be a flamethrower.
Right.
It's working. The latest Fox News poll, I think we have it, has Trump at 18%. It just came out yesterday. Walker at 15, Bush at 14. What do you make of it?
I think you're right. At this early stage, when you've got this many people, you've got to make noise, and Trump is great at being noisy. He's sort of a very noisy clown, which is, you know, something that people will watch. It's not to say that the more serious candidates should engage every attack that comes from Trump, but you know, if he's throwing pies, you can still get a pie in the face, and that can be at very least distracting for a candidate who's trying to get across a more serious message. So these candidates do need to contend with Trump. Again, I don't think it means they necessarily need to seriously engage him because, you know, as Rick Perry put it, it's a toxic mix of demagoguery and nonsense that comes from Trump. Right. It's about right. So he's a landmine that they need to worry about. But in terms of engaging in serious debate, I think that's one step too far.
Well, his comments on Mexico have certainly got him both praise and incredible criticism from both Democrats and Republicans. The latest Fox News poll on that has a majority think he's wrong about Mexico. 44% say he is right. Democrats are probably loving this, aren't they?
Yeah, can't disagree with that. If I was at the Republican National Committee, if I was a Republican operative, I would be petrified of what this man is doing to their opportunity in 2016. I would be sitting in strategy rooms trying to figure out how to muzzle him. This is a serious, he's creating such a serious problem for these serious GOP candidates. And yes, he's at the top of the field, but everyone knows he's not a serious candidate. He's not going to be the nominee, but the damage, I think, is already done.
Another Fox News poll I'll throw out there, 34% admire Trump, Flip, but 54%, a majority say he's just a loudmouth. And that dovetails with today's Washington Post story that says Democrats are thrilled about a Trump candidacy because, by comparison, Clinton looks like a very serious, sober, seasoned alternative.
Right. That's fair. And I saw a Gallup poll also that said only 25% of voters believe Trump is actually a serious candidate. They believe that his candidacy itself is serious. So he's at the top of the polls for now. We saw almost every candidate in 2012 in the GOP field have a turn at the top of the polls. I agree that he's not going to stay there very long. But
so you think it's fleeting, not durable?
Definitely not durable. Hopefully quickly fleeting, but eventually fleeting in any event. I think what is most dangerous about Trump from the perspective of the GOP field, as Jehmu was alluding to, is that there is damage potential here because, unfortunately, not everything he says is crazy. Occasionally, he comes out with something that genuinely resonates and should resonate. He made a point about the Chattanooga shootings and saying that how crazy is it that these armed service members are not able to be armed in their places of business? Something like that makes a lot of sense, frankly, and it's something that deserves discussion. But it's just so frustrating that we need to be having these discussions spurred on or initiated by someone who is so clownish and who is doing so much damage. If everything he said were just nuts, we could just dismiss him. It's the fact that he once in a while comes out with something worth talking about that keeps him in play and keeps those numbers
On the
up.
Democratic side, Hillary Clinton's got some trouble. The latest Fox News poll find that 58% think her natural instinct is to hide the truth. That's almost 60% say, essentially, she's not honest. And then another Fox News poll finds that 70% say that is a deal breaker in terms of their voting for her. What do you think?
Well, it's also the same poll that has Donald Trump polling at almost 20%. So polls are what they are today versus where they will be when people are actually casting ballots in the primaries and then in the general election.
Yeah, it could get
Look,
worse for Hillary Clinton in terms of trust and honesty.
well, I think you have to look at how the American people feel about politicians in general. Do they trust your average politician? Do they distrust Hillary more than they distrust the incredible mess that we've made from a public service standpoint in just the last 6 years, how things have broken down? So I think when we move into a general election conversation, because I certainly believe Hillary will be the nominee, when we move into that conversation and you've got two candidates who are talking about the issues, that's where the decisions will be made. And whether it's Donald Trump or any of the other candidates, Hillary stacks up as being the more serious, credible candidate, I think, across the entire field.
All right. Jehmu, Greene, Pidot, thank you both. Check out foxnews.com for more on the 2016 presidential race. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.